FedEx and UPS have been stopping by a lot. Got these gauges. We're actually going to install these on the mower. I can use the volts. I can definitely use the oil pressure. That Kohler is a pressurized system with a filter. And believe it or not, this water temp, I'm going to use this in the fins. This little piece here. I'm going to fit that into the fins of the engine and get some sort of a temperature reading. We'll get the average. I mean, it won't be accurate in the sense of if it was in a water jacket, but we'll get the average of the engine, and then if it's hotter, we'll notice that. Not necessary, but it'll look cool. Let's see if this water temperature works. There she goes. I don't know how. Whoa! Don't go too far with that. Don't know how accurate that is, but we heated her up. That really pushed it, didn't it? Coming down slow. But yeah, that just senses temperature. I don't see why if I screw that into the maybe drill some holes in some of the fins, or fit it in between the fins, why that wouldn't read engine temperature. So we're going to do that. Things are happening. Yeah, I spared everybody the ugly details of making this thing fit in here. It's sturdy. It's good. I might paint it black. I don't know. What do you think? It's bolted in up top, and then I ended up just zip tying it at the bottom, and it's got, you know, it's very sturdy. And there's some bolts in here that pinch it all back together. I could put those back in. And then I'm painting the bushings for the front guard there. It'll look good. I got a little yellow accents here and there underneath here, and I'm going to do some here and there. So, yep, that's it. All right. Spared you all the mess of this, but got the holes drilled. The gauges are loosely in place there. Just getting them set up. I got to burn the stickers off of there and clean that up. Mount those in there, and that's just half the battle. I got to hook up all the lines and the lights and the hoses and what have you, but it's going to look good. I know they aim at your knees, but I looked into tilting them and what have you and mounting them up top, and it all came back to putting them down here. So I think it'll be fine. A lot of room in there. Well, you can't really see it, but there's quite a bit of room in there. See through. So it'll be partly protected from water and what have you, but still. So that's where we're at now with this. And finished up the grill. A couple of screws. And some zip ties on the bottom rather than running screws in there. It just wasn't the room that I needed, but there it is. Bolted in. Woohoo! They're mounted, but they're not hooked up yet. I got the cables run. I got some wires for the voltage meter. I'm going to hook to the key switch so it's not on all the time. And then, of course, the lights I wired up to, I use the PTO switch to turn the lights on. So that'll run the headlights and these tail lights eventually. I got those, I put those on instead of those reflectors. Looks good. But yeah, that'll be, I haven't lit those up yet. They look pretty good. I tried them out, but I haven't hooked them up. There they are, aiming at the seat, so you have to duck down to look at them. But I do have an oil pressure light. If I have an oil pressure issue, that'll glare me in the face, so we got that going for us. But yeah, it looks pretty cool on there. Nothing else. Kind of classic wheel horse look. Now I got these bushings painted safety yellow, like I said I was going to do. And then getting ready to wire up these lights. So I'll wire them together, and then I'll run a wire up to them from the headlight switch. Okay, I want to plumb up this oil gauge. So I'm going to need, I got a T. I got this T here, AutoZone. And I want to be able to put in the light, you know, the sensor for the light, and then a connection for the hose to the pressure gauge. Well, these don't really thread in. They're the right type, but they're very tight. So I had to thread this steel one in, get the threads all cleaned up so everything runs in and out of there. I don't know what the deal is with that. I thought it would fit a little better, but they fit now, and they don't look stripped. It just was interesting how they didn't just thread right in easy. Maybe that's the way it's supposed to be to keep it from leaking. But anyway, we're going to get busy on that. When I went to thread it in, it hits the housing right here. So I'm going to carve that back a little bit and see if I can get a little better, a little more clearance for that. Or I'll have to get an extension to poke it out a little farther, but let's do that. All right, here we go. We got it ground down. Not real pretty, but it's cleared. And we've got a pressure sensor and an oil pressure line. All plumbed up. Hopefully it doesn't leak. Drilled an 11/32 hole between those fins down there, and just the right size to push that coolant temperature sensor in there. Let's see how that works. This is unexplored territory. Alright, so far so good. Not seeing any leaks. Looks like we've got 40 pounds of oil pressure. It's charging real good. Waiting for this temperature to come up, see if we can get something out of that. Alright, she's been running for about 10 minutes now. Damn, it works. All right, the motor's off. And we're reading 155 sitting temperature. What are we at here? Not far off. Not far off. Sweet. I want to finish up on these gauges, so I'm going to wire up these little bulbs here and get them all soldered together and heat shrunk and get it wired in. So that'll finish up the gauge project. We've got lights. We've got lights. I think that's going to do it for this one. And yeah, that's a good chunk we got done here. I'm happy with it. So we'll catch you all in the next one.